Okay, everybody, it is 5:30. I'm going to call the meeting to order. The commission shall serve in an advisory role to assist residents, businesses, and the government of Monroe County in addressing issues of gender equity in all aspects of society. The mission is to advance the status of women and marginalized genders in all areas of county life. So the approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to make 2 additions. Should we do them separately?
Yeah.
Or no?
No.
Okay. So I make a motion to add public comment to the minutes.
Where?
Wherever you see fit. And I would also like to add communications to new business.
Do I have a motion to accept?
Or a second, maybe?
Second.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I would also like to make a motion to make an amendment if necessary, because I did, usually during the commissioner updates, I have Maria on there and I didn't add Maria. So if Maria would like to have time to talk this meeting, then I don't want to not have you on here.
I appreciate that, and I don't need that special time today.
Perfect. Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the agenda with those amendments, additions?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Where do you want to put the public comment?
What?
Where do you want to put the public comment?
I say after updates,
Before old.
before old business. Did we move?
Or you, yes, motion to.
Do I have a second? Or we did that, we're good, okay. So do I have a, did everyone read, did we get the minute, did everyone get the minutes from December?
Okay, we've got 2 meetings in December. One is a work session that has minutes, but are we approving those? Or are we approving the December 13th regular meeting?
We didn't have a regular meeting.
We had a December 13th regular meeting and we had a December 21st work session.
We
Yeah.
did?
Yes.
I changed it because I couldn't come to the work session.
Oh,
You couldn't come on the 18th. We didn't have it.
I think we just had one in December.
Yes, on the 13th.
Okay, well, I have minutes from a December 13th meeting where approval of minutes for the November meeting was tabled until the next meeting, which we don't have the November meeting minutes because Nikki was doing that and then stopped doing it. So we don't have them.
For November. So we have them somewhere.
She probably has them. I don't know if you have them maybe, but we don't have them out there anywhere.
So they're not in the Dropbox. Okay.
Okay. I also
I
have,
feel like she emailed something.
I looked and I couldn't find November
I think
minutes.
that was the December work session.
So do we want to table the approval of all minutes until we have November and the work session, or does anybody want to approve the work session?
Let's table all minutes and make an action item that we need to get it together.
I didn't realize we hadn't got
Yeah, I
November.
forgot
Okay.
about that too.
Okay.
We're tabling minutes approval this time, and we want to gather up, what is it that we want to gather up?
November and
minutes.
December.
And which I have December 13th minutes and I have December 21st minutes. Do we only need?
You do
December
not
21st
have the
minutes?
December 21st minute.
I can send you both documents. I got them.
We did not have them because you were out of town.
We were supposed to meet on the 21st, and I asked if we could change it to,
And we agreed upon the 13th. We didn't meet on the 21st.
For the 21st minutes to the one date.
Maybe there's a November.
I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll get it together. If there was a meeting on the 21st, we'll get those as well.
Okay, so, okay, next week. We can do this next week. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we don't have to wait a
Yeah,
month.
that's perfect.
Okay, sorry.
So
Well,
who's going to get those?
I will do that.
You will do that.
Okay. And if you have these ready by then, we'll add these to the mix, but if you don't, that's fine too.
Have what ready? Sorry.
Minutes from this meeting
Oh,
by
this
next.
meeting? Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's great.
Okay. So commissioner updates, I did want to welcome Jennifer Belton, our newest women's commissioner. I have known Jennifer for a long time. We met as coworkers about 15 years ago now, or something ridiculous like that. And I had really requested Jennifer to consider joining a while ago, just because of her public health practice experience, her work in addictions, multiple longtime Bloomington residents. So I was excited that she said yes, because I was worried about her. Like, she's a very busy person. So Jennifer, I would like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
She told you my name is Jennifer. I've been in healthcare about 27 years. I'm an LPN. Community is my passion. I worked at the Hood, Planned Parenthood. Again, all facets of community, women being one, and then the impoverished being the other. I have a kid, he's in college.
I like to go on cruises.
I love to travel. Travel is one of my passions. And that's pretty much it. I'm looking forward to joining you guys and championing some women's work here in Bloomington.
Let's introduce ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm Julie Hardesty. I'm serving as secretary as best I can. We'll see how that goes this year, so. And I work at Indiana University. I'm a librarian.
Oh, nice.
How long have you been on the commission?
Since November 2022, so a little over a year.
I'm Kathleen Sobiak. I co-lead a women's build team with a Jennifer Belton. So you look familiar. So, and as you know, I've been on a commission, I don't even know,
Since the summer.
since the summer, yeah. So we're glad you're here. I'm glad you're here.
I'm Molly Otto. I am an insurance agent at Baker's Life. I've been on the commission since August of 2022. And since community is my passion. It's exciting to have you on the team.
Thank you.
I'm Maria Douglas. I'm the vice chair again this year. I've been on the commission. Oh, my pronouns are she, her. And I've been on the commission for like about 2 years, I think. And my 4-pay job is in development with Middle Way House.
Oh, nice.
You know me. She, her. 2 years. Chair, second year.
Sweet.
Still learning. We are a work in progress.
Always.
I do have a work in progress document for an orientation. It's just a PowerPoint that we put together just to give people some background. It had just been created. We're doing some edits. I'm waiting for some. Molly Turner King is one of the county attorneys, and she is helping us with some of the stuff for the orientation. So I'm kind of waiting for that. I'll probably send it to you anyway, just so you can have an idea. And then as things change, I'll let you know. I'm so excited. Okay. So 2024 meeting dates and times, we have to take an official day. Those need to be, and we need to be voted on those. And so I can send them in to Dina at the Commissioner's office so they can be publicly posted and announced. As far as I know, we do the third Thursday at 5:30, usually at the Nat Hill. I don't know if that's where we'll be again this year, but we'll see. So if I have a motion to accept the third Thursday at 5:30, I would love to have it. If somebody else wants to make another suggestion, I'm happy to do that too.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes third Thursday at 5:30. Every
Did
month.
Jennifer vote?
I did.
Oh, okay, sorry. I just want to make sure that was okay with you.
I put Robert's rules on here because what I've learned also is we do not have to follow Robert's rules. We can follow whatever rules we decide we want to follow. There is no mandate that we have to follow a certain set of rules. So I just wanted to bring that up for discussion or comment. I mean, we kind of follow those loosely and we don't usually get into the complicated parts of all that, but I just wanted to put that out there. That's something we can think about in the future.
Like as far as the way we agree upon things
Mhm.
and propose things? Okay.
I mean, Robert's rules are very, detailed and whatever, but we don't have to necessarily do this. So I just wanted to put that out there.
My comment on that is that I think we should at least loosely follow them, just kind of like we have been, so
Yeah.
we make sure that we have consensus and or the opportunity to get on record.
We would still come up with another procedure, but not necessarily
But
Robert.
why, I mean, we don't,
Yeah.
like why.
Okay.
And I also wanted to mention, I don't know where I found this, I can look again, but I got this Monroe County, you know what,
I made that.
you made this?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, at the beginning, oh, yeah. So that's something you might want to share with Jennifer too, because I pulled that and it has a lot of things in it.
Okay,
Well, is that all the stuff that's on the slides?
pretty much, but maybe probably in more detail. I don't know.
Because it's got all the open door policy and Robert's rules
And history,
and the history.
more detailed history.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Robert's Rules cheat sheet and, yeah, this was good, Susan, that you did.
Thanks.
When you joined, I think, yeah.
When I started chair.
When you
Yeah. Yeah, I need to put things in a little bit of order, even though I don't always remember them. Okay, so that's all I have for now. I guess I would like to open the floor up for public comment.
And how long are public comment? 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 5 usually?
3 minutes, 5 minutes?
It's up to us, isn't it?
Yeah,
Let's do 3.
3.
That seems to be, the school board does 3, city council does 3 to 5, depending on how many people want to comment. So if you would like to make public comment and are online, if you could raise your hand and then TSD mute because we have no one in person.
Can you guys hear me?
We have Daniel Olson online.
Not yet, Daniel.
Can you hear me?
No.
Can you guys hear me? Dang, okay, I unmuted.
I can hear you, Daniel.
Okay, so you can hear me, but in the conference room, it doesn't look like the women's commission can hear me.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let me see if I can figure something out.
Okay,
Should we check the volume on the TV here?
Yes, the control is on the. You write it down.
On the owl. Is there a volume on the owl? Susan, can you see?
Oh, I see a plus and a minus.
Can you guys hear me better?
Hey, we got it.
Okay, you guys can hear me?
Look, you're-
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, thanks for having me. I'm Daniel Olson. I'm a volunteer with Thomas Hort State House Race for 62nd District. I'm going to put some links in there so you guys can just see what I'll be talking about. So yeah, he's running for State House District 52. This is going to be the closest state house race in the state. Last election, it came down to 30 some votes. So Thomas Horrocks is a pastor, a veteran, and a father who lives on the west side of Bloomington. He's running because of a lot of the issues you guys talk about, inequity in communities and fighting for people who are marginalized and people who don't have a voice. A big part of his campaign is that we need state representatives who work with local officials and local citizens, not against them. Right now, we have a state legislature that is really operating in the dark. They're passing a lot of bills that don't benefit people. They're rushing them through the House. They're not working with local officials. They're working against them, and that includes school boards, city councils, county councils, clerks. And whenever you have a government that does that, often in cases, women are the first to be thrown under the bus. We see that with abortion. We see that with gender inequity. We see that with a lot of issues. Thomas wants to turn all that around. This is a really important race. We need elected officials who really believe in public service, and part of public service is engagement with the community. That's why we're going to all these commissions. This isn't the only commission. We're going to talk to all commissions about issues that affect your life, and gonna, go throughout this community and talk to people, and yeah, try to bring attention to issues and run a real grassroots campaign. I do want to mention that the third link I posted in there is events. Tomorrow night we have a happy hour from 6:30 to 8:30 at Heartwork Brewing. Everyone's invited. This is a chance to meet Thomas and his family. And yeah, it's just a good chance to hear about his policy issues and things he cares about. He's a great guy. And I encourage everyone to come there. And if you guys have any questions, I can also post my email and phone number in here. And also, if anyone's interested, they reach out. I can provide you with Thomas's contact information if you want to talk to him personally.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
So much.
Absolutely. Does anyone have any questions also? I see I had like 30 seconds. I just wondered.
No, I don't. Nope. Thank you,
For
Daniel.
joining us and sharing that, yeah.
As I don't see any other public comment, I think we can proceed. Old and ongoing business. We usually go over, I don't know if anybody's been attending the commission meetings that they have, and if anybody has any comment that they would like to make about anything they've noticed in the commission meetings. We do have 2 contested races this year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the commission again. But is there anything anybody wants to share from any county commissioners meeting they've attended?
I went to the January 10th commissioners meeting and the February 7th one, and I was going to go to the January 17th one, but that one was canceled. So I got myself all signed up to go to a bunch of these start of the year here. So there wasn't a whole lot that I was catching on to that seemed like relevant to things that we're discussing. But at January 10th, there was an update from the jail that they were talking about things that were getting fixed. So there's some things that are working. They're doing some like roof fixes happening, and they had a dryer issue that was fixed. So there's some things that they were having problems with that are getting addressed in the current jail, which is good to hear. They also were dealing with, I think this is kind of news that's out there already, but they were dealing with the jail population that was 250 on January 9th, and it was way high. It's over capacity. So they were trying to figure out starting to think about things to do for that. and to manage the jail capacity issues that they're having right now, so.
The commissioners were?
No, just the report that they were getting
They
to
were
the
just
jail
reporting out
commissioners
about
were
it.
saying that they were trying to figure out options and things to do. So that was what was happening there. So anyway, it was good to hear that, them talking, the jail folks talking to the commissioners. I didn't get down who it was. I don't think it was the sheriff. I think it was somebody else from the jail that was getting this report. So, and then there also was, I guess, an extension on private settlement with, regarding the lawsuit. That I think that potentially impacts how things are progressing with the jail facility plans for the future, and, extending that out gives the commissioners, gives the county more time to figure out what they're doing with the new jail facility, I think. And the lawyer, Paul, I think is his name, did a walkthrough of the current jail to kind of assess where things were, and it was generally, I think they said the walkthrough was positive. So, so I don't know if I don't think there was anything that was necessarily passed at that point, but just that it's kind of still ongoing, and still, the new jail still needs to get figured out, and the current jail has things getting addressed, but probably could still use more attention to get current things addressed in the current jail. So, and then at the February 7th meeting, I caught on to there's a collective bargaining that's happening with jail personnel. And that's not settled yet. They're actually, it sounds like it's almost done, and they're going to be finalizing that, but it's not happening until the end of February. So there's also personnel support that's happening. Trying to get. They said the jail is now fully staffed. I'm not sure what that means, but I think that it sounds like it's good news. So I don't know exactly what staff was not there before, but now they're fully staffed. So those were kind of the tidbits about jail stuff that I picked up on.
Just to give you a little history or procedural, is so we have like a sign up genius, and we take turns trying to, when we can't, or we all do, attending county commissioners meetings, maybe not necessarily county council, but kind of gleaning, just paying attention a little bit. The Bloomington Commission on the Status of Women, just especially the county commissioners and council, just to keep our eyes on what's going on in the community, and make sure as there are issues that arise that, things that we might be interested in participating in. But that's why we do this. And if you can't attend and you want to watch it, they are all on cats that they're all recorded, so.
And they're all hybrid too, so that's nice. Well, except for the status on women, I don't.
Yeah,
It's hybrid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have been on tape on
You
that
know what,
one.
I
went to
probably
one of
didn't
those.
know that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah. When we get to that one, I've got one that I.
Does anybody else have any other comment about the county commissioners that they would like to note? I'm trying to think of the one, yeah, you commented with the one yesterday. They spent a long time talking about a plan. County council, anything from county council?
I can't remember which ones I've attended, but I try to log on. And so Trent Deckard is now the president or the chair. Jennifer Crossley is now being the Women's Commission's liaison with the council. So I feel like that's good. Jeff and Kim, who was our liaison, reminded everyone during that meeting, and I was happy to hear this, that he had a standing conflict with our meeting time. So that's why he never attended after the first of the year work session that we did. So that was nice to hear that he wasn't just not coming. There are seats, there's contested races for county council spots as well, so we need to pay attention to that. And then to tack on to updates about the jail, even though I know we have a agenda item, the sheriff asked for, I believe, an extra $30,000 for last year for some things, but they approved it.
Yeah, I thought they asked for more money so they could transport, like an emergency fund, so they could transport prisoners to alleviate their population. So.
Yeah, I think that may have been something, I don't know if it was happening, I don't know if that is what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I know they did ask for like 20, 30,000 or something.
I don't recall exactly, but I think they asked for it and it was approved before the overcrowding situation came out.
Oh.
But it may have been. That's all I can.
Yeah, I think the only, I don't know about I know the contested race is now at large. Trent and Cheryl are running, Jeff is resigning, or not running, and David Henry and Matt Paldy are now running, so it's a 4-person race, so it's gonna be
For 2 spots, 4 people for 2 spots.
4 people for 3 spots.
3 spots.
And I think everybody else is fine. So, anybody else have any other comments about county council? No. The Bloomington Commission on the Status of Women, I know I forwarded that to all, because they were looking for nominations for their history luncheon, so I didn't say anything, so I don't know what that is, but you went to the meeting this month?
I tried, I got on and the meeting apparently was already going and realized I didn't have the right time, I guess. So I only caught just a little bit of the meeting. So if they were talking about that, I might have missed it. But I was at the meeting on February 1st. What I caught on to was an all options, the top line advocate training is coming up. They were discussing that. It's a spring training, it's about 2 hours a week. It's March 4th through April 10th. So there's whatever their agenda was, it had a link to it, which I thought that was an interesting thing that we should maybe mention here and kind of spread around. But all options apparently is in need of advocates, particularly those who can speak Spanish. So
Aren't we all?
and yeah, and then the Women's History Luncheon, they were discussing that.
So that has been announced, so
Yes.
it's March 28th.
Yes.
So, what are we gonna do?
I'm already attending.
You're attending for middle way.
Anyway,
I'll probably go too, because tickets are what, 50, I think? 80? Something?
No, I think it's 35.
Oh, is it that?
Did I write it
No.
down?
That's fine, okay.
I don't know why I missed.
Well, it'd be awesome if we could go, it'd be awesome, whatever, so. It was a great event last year.
It's a big one.
So, and they're gonna do tabling beforehand. That's still happening. I don't know the details about what it would be.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I worked for now last year,
Oh, it's $45 for a full table. Or half table.
But there's the exhibits, like organizations tabling beforehand.
That's what I mean.
Oh,
You have
is it?
to,
Okay.
you pay that. Maybe not this year, but maybe for some, in the next year, we might do like recruiting or something. For the commission. I hadn't thought about it until just now.
yeah. That's a good idea. Maybe they would donate a table to us.
We know.
So the Bloomington Commission on the Status of Women is our counterpart for the city. We do try to pay attention. They've tried in the past, they used to be voting members on our commission. That stopped about a year ago or so. They don't come to our meetings. I'm always supposed to send her an agenda. Sometimes Marissa Parr Scott, she's with the county. She's a paid employee who chairs their, yeah, sorry, about the city, sorry, who chairs their commission. But, yeah. And they're supposed to send a representative to us, but they never really do. Because we'd really like to be more collaborative, but they have money, which is nice, and we don't. But, or not yet, not right now.
And that's okay, and I think that we should make more of a statement about our, not willingness, but our want to be in partnership, and then they will. I don't think it's a matter
I feel like I have.
of maybe.
But I don't even know who's on their commission anymore. I don't know if things have changed.
Well, I can say something to Marissa.
Anybody else have anything about the Bloomington BCSW? Okay, Girls Web Design Camp Subcommittee. Who would like to make comments about that? Maria?
So I don't understand the tone in your, I'm just kidding. This was Jennifer Girls Coding Camp that, Nichelle Wash did for several years when she was the chair of this commission. And it's something that we have tried to continue because we think, females in STEM, women in STEM areas are very important. Right now, we are still in, I can't even call it negotiations, but in approval of the memorandum of understanding, MOU, between us and Luddy, because Tiana Iroje, who's a commissioner on this commission, works in Luddy, and the last time we did Girls Coding Camp was very instrumental in providing volunteers as far as through her students would teach this curriculum. As far as a venue, they have all the, computers and devices and space, and we actually held one of the sessions there. We had sessions at the mill on a Friday, Richard Bean Blossom, I think, on Mondays, and then the mill, or Luddy, was on Saturdays. So there were options for, for accessibility and, things like that. So we were trying to, since there is an MOU that needs to be between the Women's Commission, the county, and Luddy, that's where we are still, is trying to hash that out. And I'm just going to speak frankly that we got some disturbing, I'm going to call it disturbing news, that Luddy and also Molly Turner King, with the lawyer, the attorney for the county, are concerned about us offering it only to women, to girls. They think that if we offer it to girls, we have to also offer it to boys. And I don't necessarily think that is the case. Just like those in the work that do this work are, uplift and amplify and give opportunity to marginalized communities. That is what we're doing, because being a female, being a woman, or being a girl in STEM is a marginalized.
They're underrepresented.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm not sure that's what I have to say about that. I'm not sure what the next steps are. I think that they're still trying to, I think Tiana is still trying to work that out with Luddy. I don't think
Because I thought it was just IU in general that's.
Yeah, it's not
that's-
really, I don't
Oh,
think
it's
Luddy, I
not.
think it's IU General Counsel.
Okay, IU General Counsel, I apologize, thank you.
Yeah,
Still.
still, right.
Also, a little history, our camp was supposed to run in the fall, but things weren't done promptly, so we were trying to get it done so we could run it in the spring. Things have been very waylaid. We have, I don't know where the $10,000 comes from to help sponsor this camp. And obviously things have, for some reason, taken longer this year than they have in the past.
It's a line item, so the $10,000 is a line item just in the county's budget
Is it?
that we applied for, yeah. And then, what what was your other thing? Oh, why this hasn't been an issue in the past is because well, whatever, we already did it. We didn't necessarily ask permission to do things. We just did it. And it went fine.
Once you try to do it.
Well, I have the same question that we did ask for permission, but there was still an MOU. Previous ones, how did that get pushed through without, you know, IU?
Don't believe there was ever an MOUs.
Well, I thought that was part of the thing that we had to do because there's, I don't know.
There was the.
We don't know the history.
Yeah, okay. Is there a way that, I mean, and I don't know if the subcommittee has discussed with Molly or Jane or the powers that IU, you know, to amend it to, for those who identify as women or girls, or, I mean, are they just saying, if we offer it for females, we also have to offer it for males? I mean,
Yeah,
I read
no,
through
they're
it,
not
it was like,
concerned
oh,
about
we're
transgender, they're concerned about the boys.
So who's leading the men's commission?
There is no men's commission, they don't need one, they have privilege.
No, I know, that's what.
Oh, you're.
Have we not seen Barbie?
Yeah, I mean, I was part of email conversation with this as well, and I mean, I completely agree with Maria, like, this is.
Why do we have a woman,
Exactly.
there's women's commission
This is not an equality thing, this is an equity thing, we're doing this for equity. We're doing this to uplift women, marginalized communities who are not involved in STEM. So that is the exact reason we are doing it. So if nothing else, we're dealing with a gender equity web design camp. As opposed to maybe not a girls, maybe it's more about gender equity, and that's the focus, but yeah, it's.
So, Julie and I are ready to go, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
Tiana's gonna try to figure it out. I think it's safe to say we're not gonna have the Girls Web Design Camp, we changed the name to, Girls Web Design Camp, in the spring. And I would say that if we are not able to get this taken care of, this being the MOU, taken care of by,
I feel like we gotta talk with Tiana before we can really make any sort of statements like that, I guess.
yeah, I think for us, I hear that. But I also want to go on record that we as a commission need to either do it or move on, because we're still giving some energy and some attention to this thing. And I'd rather, if that's not going to be a thing, then I'd rather not even have it in my brain, you know what I mean? And so I guess maybe I would suggest maybe by the end, if it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Not rectify. Resolve, thank you. Can you just live in my pocket?
I know, I'm like,
You're just right there with me. I love it. Thank you. If it's not resolved by the end of this year, is this something that we're
End
going to
of this year? Of December?
You know how long it's taken to even get to this point, months.
I'm ready to.
I mean, if there's a line item in their budget, it's the end of their fiscal year, isn't it? Do they operate on like through June, the city?
And actually,
And
our
then
money,
that line, and then it's like, if it's not spent, then you don't get to.
and actually our money is up because it was only promised us for 3 years. Our money is up. I can't remember if it's this year or in 25.
Well, if it's this year and you go past the fiscal year, it's probably you lost it then, you know? But I don't know if the city operates on a, like IU, or the county, whoever has your line item. Oh, okay, yeah.
So I guess does anybody, I mean, including Jennifer, with fresh eyes on, I know a lot of stuff that I just said that is a lot. But, does anybody have any recommendations or what next steps should be? Because again, I feel like we need to be very intentional with our time and energy.
Great. So, me, I've never, not, my whole opinion the whole time is I'm not a fan of the camp, but I always wondered if it was really like the best use of our energy. But now that they're making it an issue, I'm kind of ticked off. So I'm like,
This is a problem.
we're leaning, I'm like, okay, this is happening now. I'm gonna fight for this. But I mean, is that really the dog, that I want?
We're looking at a large educational institution, and we know it's been all over what has happened to specifically Black women in higher ed. And so I don't think that we should, this is not something we should actually let go since that has been said.
No, like I
agree. Now I'm kind of like mad.
Yeah.
So that means I can't have girls soccer camp?
right, who knows? I mean, yeah.
They shouldn't have anything then, if it's not equitable.
I mean, back to Molly's question, how do we have a women's commission? What is that? Yeah.
So since that was said in literally writing,
So, I mean, is there a way to make either a public response or a written letter, or is it Tiana just having these conversations? I'm not saying just like to discount conversations, but is that our approach putting it on her to do all the work? Or is there a way to like support her in that, or?
I think that's a great question. And I think that would be up to Tiana.
Yeah.
I have had the feeling, and it may be wrong, that she wants to, that's where she works. That's her livelihood. So I don't want to do anything that would put anything
That would make it hard
for her, her employment or anything like that in jeopardy. So I think we need to be very careful. However, because it is in writing, and I keep pointing because it's on the computer in the email, that but I think that it would be if we wanted to, and if we agreed to writing a letter, maybe we ask Molly Turner King what our next steps are, even though she said she agreed with IU.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Um,
I'm gonna throw this out there. What if we approached Ivy Tech and had an awesome girls coding camp in partnership with Ivy Tech as IU?
Oh, I would love that. We were already kind of skirting, not skirting, we were already kind of giving out the optics that IU's the only game in town. We don't want to do that.
Yeah. I almost think Ivy Tech is a better fit as far as like reaching county kids, if they open up their campuses, they're on the bus route, they're more accessible, they're probably more comfortable for a lot of, I don't know, just for a lot of reasons, it just seems like the 3rd Street Ivy Tech campus is on the bus route, and I don't know, I just think it sounds like a more appealing atmosphere maybe for some kids from the county as well as just, hey, okay, if you don't want us and if you don't want to, if we're stringing it along for this, many months, maybe it's time to walk away and see if it's a possibility.
Okay, so I have, unless there's something pressing that anybody wants to say, I really would like to table this
Okay.
till next month or next week when Tiana is
Yes.
present and has more information. Because I know we have a lot of stuff that we really want to get to with our goals and everything, because I don't think we're gonna solve anything tonight, especially without Tiana being here, so.
Yeah.
if there's anything else that anybody feels like they need to say about it, then I'm happy to hear so, but I would like to just stick a pin in it until next week.
Do it.
Okay. Gender Equity Justice Response Subcommittee. So this, I'm just gonna give a little history too on this. This is, it wasn't in response to the jail stuff last year? Was that really, I guess, so when the jail news came out, right, with the sheriff, we formed a subcommittee that followed the JFAC, the justice, and also with the dissolution?
Yes.
What do
The
you-
previous group that was, it was dissolved because of dissolution.
whatever with the county, so we created a subcommittee to pay attention to make sure that, women and marginalized genders were, issues were addressed as they were creating the new jail or resolving issues with the current jail. On that subcommittee, I should say that too, on the girls who, website committee is Maria, Julie, and Tiana. And the justice subcommittee is Maria, Kathleen, Julie, and I. Ish, right? Okay. So, CAPS. You want to talk about CAPS?
Sure, yeah. CAPS is, I always forget the acronym, the council, it's like the community advisory community advisory.
Oh, good.
So pretty.
Yes, alternative
Thanks, Jennifer.
public safety is the APS. So the Council on Alternative Public Safety is what it is. So they wrote a report on, they did a lot of work to do community interviews, to gather statistics on how many calls were coming in that were actually, didn't need to be law enforcement. They could have been, a community social worker or some other sort of response. And so at the end of the report, the end of their analysis, they're proposing that there's a new Office of Public Safety that is there to address issues of the homelessness, calls that are coming in, ways to kind of proactively address these emergency calls that don't need to have law enforcement response. Does that pretty much summarize the report?
I think so. Yep.
Excuse me. And so they're having an event in February 24th is a movie. They're bringing in a director. It's called Reimagining Safety, and it's a documentary, and the director's coming in from LA, and we are sponsors of the event, not putting any money in, but just agreeing to raise awareness and share the advertising. And then the next day on Sunday, the 25th, they're gonna have a community conversation, and that's at, I think it's gonna be at School of Public Health, although now they're concerned because I thought if it was under 50 people for your event, you didn't have to go through all these protocols, but now the city is emailing me about, they were worried about it getting shut down because there's so much, I don't know, there's just a lot going on with people deciding not to host events all of a sudden.
That is accurate.
But I'm gonna be surprised if we even get 20 in the room because it's a Sunday afternoon. I kept telling them, like, do you wanna have this at the library? Maybe people would show up if it's at the public library, but for some reason they wanted to have it on
Yeah, 'cause I'm not
campus.
trying to park on campus and
I'm like, who is gonna come to campus on a Sunday afternoon? I don't know.
There was a panel discussion, you were there as well at the library, I can't know.
the CRT.
Yes, and there was a very good amount of people that.
Well, I know, at the library.
Yeah, but that,
I don't know, I mean, I'm kind of following their lead, and she really just wanted me to book her. I was like, oh, well, she was looking at the union, and they were gonna partner with the union board, and I was like, oh, I can get a room, but wouldn't you rather have it, she had, I don't know. Yeah, because I'm like, even your audience, is it really IU students that you're trying to reach, or more like the Bloomington community? But I've had all these conversations with her, and she wants to proceed with school public health.
That's what she wants to do.
Yeah, kind of.
And she being Najla, who is on the CAPS commission, who is chairing the committee for this event.
Yeah.
So the person that, the director of the movie for screening is Matthew Solomon. And I talked to our Middle Way House's prevention team, and he is a well-known person in nonviolent work. So we might have more people, because I know our prevention team coordinator said that she was so super stoked that he was coming, and that, they know his work and stuff like that. So I forwarded Julie an email, but the attachments wouldn't go because there were too many. So I'll email you I'll do it again later, but we have links to images and marketing and things like that we can put out. And so.
What does that mean to put out? Can we send it to someone for posting on like Monroe County?
So that's what we can do now, yes. And we can put out to our personal networks and our professional networks that we think would be interested, or it would be good. So that's that. But we do need to kind of commit to doing that, at least sending out.
Has anyone considered going to a commissioners meeting and putting it in public comment? This is something we're supporting, and the events that are coming?
Supposedly, Najla was going to every commission that exists in Monroe County.
And
I think it wouldn't hurt, but also, I don't know if we didn't ask permission to sponsor it.
yes.
We're doing public comment. There's no like meeting to be added to an agenda or anything. We just during public comment time.
And I think we can cover some of this under, when we talk about communication.
Okay. Well, is there anything else anybody wants to say about CAPS for this moment?
Just remember to try to share with interested parties.
Okay. I do want to talk about the press release. I am a little confused about all that. I was trying to get some more clarification because that was a little bit of a shite show. So I felt like I got some conflicting information. I felt like there was some not very clear. I am not sure what that means, where we are with that or next steps. Probably something we should talk about in a subcommittee meeting soon if we're having one. I don't know, does anybody have any comments they want to say about what happened? So just history. So we wrote a press release. I sent it to the people that I thought I was supposed to send it to so they could send it out, because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. Then it was told, I was asked some questions about the press release. We'd never done a press release before. It was basically, the press release was, it was a nice statement about our involvement, what our subcommittee was, how we made recommendations. We sent them to the commissioners and the county council. They're actually listed on the county council website. And then there was kind of like no, we're not, this isn't how we do things, and we're not putting out your press release or something. So I don't know where we are and what I need to do, but, because you did not get a response.
I did not get a response when I asked for clarity.
Yeah.
Because there were some comments such as, and I quote, "This is not how we do business." I'm like, what does that mean? What does that even mean?
Like, what's your tone? I thought you worded it well.
Yeah,
Because you were like, I know sometimes emails can be hard to like, I don't wanna like talk for you, so if you wanna, but.
Well,
I
as an
think you worded
outside-
it very well, like just direct, yeah.
And no, I did not get a response. So I think we can also talk about that during our communications.
Okay.
And I mean, how much should we table for the regular meeting if this is supposed to be strategic planning? Are we?
Well, I know, that's why we're taking too long doing stuff. I don't
We
know.
only have 35 minutes.
Okay, let's go.
right?
It's okay.
Okay, so that's old business. We're gonna move on to new business, which we're gonna talk about goals and strategy for 2024. Trying to determine what our priorities are, how we select our priorities, and how many priorities that we should select. I don't know how we want to talk about this whole, if we just want to talk about the whole bullet points in our goals and strategies and have a conversation, or if we want to do it bullet by bullet, or what? What are your thoughts, Maria?
Let's talk about our subcommittees first. The two that we have, are they still relevant? We'll talk about them one at a time, and then see if we need any other subcommittees.
Okay, so we have the community, the Gender Equity and Justice Response Subcommittee. How do we feel about continuing that?
I'm not on it. I think until, a new jail is built, this is gonna be something to keep an eye on pretty continually. Maybe is how I feel with it.
Thank you. I agree with that, and even beyond its building, because we'll need to pay attention to how programming goes in the new jail, because we all know that, one thing is said and another thing is done a lot of times. So we'll need to pay attention to that. I also really want to pay attention to, if it does end up having more capacity, larger capacity, like how quickly it's filled, is it filled, and with whom is it filled? So, yes.
Yeah, I agree. And along those lines, I remember when you joined, that we were talking about the size of the subcommittees. I know that one takes quite a bit of time. If we need, to switch people out from those committees at a certain point. And well, I have not been on a subcommittee yet, except that's something that we'd be happy to do. I know that's, at times, there's a lot going on with what's happening with the kids.
I agree that it's a subcommittee that needs to keep going and needs to stay. And it's not, since I'm doing the secretary role this year, I've kind of talked about that, like you can't really be meeting and gathering and trying to, and do organizing for it, but I can either participate or I'm happy with Molly if you want to be doing that and I can, focus as a subcommittee member on something else, that's also fine, but it's something that needs to continue though. I definitely agree.
Something you're passionate about though.
It is.
And you've done
I'm
a
passionate.
Oh my
ton of work.
A ton of amazing work.
I'm also getting real passionate though about this whole urban camp thing, so. I can be flexible and put effort towards what we need.
Maybe this is something that we can have discussion about these subcommittees. And then, especially since Schoenberg's new also, and Tiana's not here, maybe this is information we can take in, have a small discussion here, and then decide who's gonna be on what committee on next week.
Okay. So we want this one still in girls' website design camp.
Girls Web Design Code Camp.
Yeah, we'll keep it for now, because we're not done,
Yes.
because of the new, what is the word I'm looking for, Kathleen?
Resolve.
No, the new occurrence.
Oh, the new, missed it.
Right? Yeah, it's okay. You're 2 for 3.
Okay, creation, I don't know how, I mean, it seems like that's what we have. I don't know if there's any other issues anybody, or creations anybody else feels like they want to make.
Well, creating new subcommittees.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I just read it. Gender Equity and Justice Response Committee almost can be 2 separate ones. But especially if girls coding can't be gender equity work.
Well, the gender equity with the Justice Response Committee, at least the way I was thinking about it, was we were
I know.
specifically looking at justice in terms of gender equity.
Right.
Yeah. But I think gender equity is potentially something to consider bringing into the Girls Web Design Code and Camp.
Yeah.
And that is maybe where the focus goes and where we have our best shot of pushing back on.
Isn't that
concept.
implied in all of our subcommittees?
It does. It really does. Yeah. I mean, I think it makes sense, but.
Yes, it could be just the justice response under the Women's Commission.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, do we need to make any new ones? I don't think so at this time.
Do you have the subcommittee you need to bring?
No?
Something will come up, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, now let's do,
I would like, I mean, we could talk about events we should attend. I know we're talking about CAPS, which actually I can't that weekend because we have a huge event for work going on. But I definitely think, I know it'd be an ask to ask everybody to pay out of their own pocket to attend the history thing. It would be nice if everyone would try to attend the women's history event. We do have it on our orientation that everyone should try to attend an event quarterly. So we try to just to be out in the community, engage with the community, paying attention, sharing events, such and such. I really did love the event last month. I'm so glad. That was an amazing event. I'm so glad I went.
thank you.
It was
It meant so much to me that you guys came.
It was fun to kind of all walk in together and be like, hey.
I know.
It was such a great event.
If I wasn't on a hefty dose of Prozac, I would have gotten through it.
It was and I was like, I'm so glad we're here. I'm so glad I came. Yeah, it was definitely the right thing, and sorry I was late for that, but I got there eventually.
All that matters is that you were there. Molly was there. Molly beat you guys there.
Oh, sure.
And where there is I'm part of Hoosier Asian American Power HAP group that we were NAPOF, which was a national group, but our chapter was sunsetted, so we decided to rebrand, and because Asian American women need a lot of support and representation.
What's the name of your group?
So the website is HoosierAAP.org. And they're talking about the launch party that we had.
So I would like to say, one of the things, Jennifer, with this, to me, even the events and the subcommittees is, as we all, we're definitely paying attention to and responsive to events that are happening in the community, crisis or whatever that we feel like we could respond to. I would like to say that, bringing something to the table that, you have passion about or are interested in, and seeing if you could, or creating a subcommittee with that is also something, just to put on everyone's back burner. I mean, we are very small, and a lot of us are probably maxed out in a lot of ways with commitments and such, but I don't think that doesn't mean things shouldn't constantly be brought up to the commission as something that we're passionate about. I mean, I have a passion thing for me right now, which someday I will get up and do something about, which is county employee wages, and especially because I'm sure it's a gender equity, becomes a women's issue, and access to childcare and all these kind of things, and is something that I will probably take on and bring to the commission when I get steps forward to see how we feel as, because I'll be doing it as a citizen to start, and then seeing if I want to bring it to the commission to see if anybody, if the commission's interested in supporting that. So just something to be thinking about.
Thank you for that. So a couple other events that's happening soon that I'm going to, so we don't necessarily need representation there because wherever I go, the things that I do go with me, and I think people know that. And so the Sojourn House, which helps human trafficking.
Are they having another event?
Yes, they're having another gala. It's on the 29th of February. It's $45 to go.
Are you going?
I'm going, and somebody invited me to a table, so I'm going with that. And then, the deadline to sign up or to get tickets is the 14th. My Sister's Closet is also celebrating 25 years of existence. They're having a gala on March 1st. That one is a little pricey at $100. Good for them. I hope it goes well. I'm going to, and then, Black History Month Gala is on the 24th of February, and that is $60.
Is that after the showing? Oh, what's the?
24th. What's the time?
Yeah, it's after.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we want to go to all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
So-
the showing comes before.
I would love to remind everyone, we do have a shared calendar that I made
I made this calendar.
because you guys asked me to. But it would be great, if you have it on your Googler and you just put it, oh, I'm putting this on my calendar. Oh, I could share it to there or wherever. Just saying. It would be nice.
I've been making notes of these things, and I don't have times, but I can add like a shell thing on the calendar to be like, someone said this date, there's this thing, and then someone's got.
Is it in our Moco Woco?
Okay.
It's is the link in our Moco Woco
Is that just
Google Drive?
Google.
No,
I can reshare it.
Yeah, somehow I ended up getting it on my Google calendar, so it's like things are just there if they're on that calendar.
So we'll know what Julie's doing every.
Well, I see all of the, if anything's added to it, it just shows up.
Yeah, if somebody could share that, all right.
I will do that. Okay.
And then I also, because we're talking about events, I also want to bring to your attention, this is Black History Month, we know that. But there's a whole, very nice calendar and description of events. And so I think it would be great if whatever you could go to, that you go to. This is online as well, but the URL is so long and it's like Google Docs. I could not figure out how to get it for you. But if you just Google City of Bloomington, Black History Month, what's special about this calendar is that it's a combined calendar of IU and City of Bloomington events.
Are they having Black Market again this year?
They are having Black Market.
17th.
So I don't know, I can pass this around if you guys want to take a picture of it or if you just want to look it up online, but,
I can find it online and link it in the.
oh, perfect. I don't use a computer, so we know what age I am. And I forget that we can do things like that. Yeah, okay. So that's all I had for events.
Anybody else? So strategies, do we want to talk about? So we also invite a speaker. Like, we all take turns just inviting someone to come speak to our meetings. We decided like a 10, 15-minute thing. It's usually, they're listed on here, people we've had in the past. I think we decided that in December that we wanted to keep the speakers. Did we not? Or quarterly?
We were thinking not necessarily every single meeting. having a
Yes,
speaker.
quarter.
Yeah,
Do we want to talk about that, or?
yeah, we didn't really settle on a schedule, but we were like, I think we established that we were like, we don't need to have a speaker at every single meeting.
Because we have
a lot to do.
We have a lot to
Yeah.
do, and so that takes up time. But I do think that quarterly is good, and what having a speaker, Jennifer, I feel has provided for us is, we always ask them, how can we help? How can the Women's Commission help? And so, for transgender, we need representation, on the, for the unhoused, for, what was that? What was the other one? Oh, domestic violence, things like that, that we need to pay attention to, and some ways we could do that. And now I think that, like Julie said, we know we have things on our plate, and we don't want to lose fresh ideas and fresh situations that we need to get into.
Well, it's just education too. Yeah.
So I like the once a quarter.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Yeah.
So that gives March. March would be this quarter, hit this quarter.
All right, I'll do March. I know you will.
Well, and I would say to that though, I always keep my ears open for people that would have something to speak to us too, so I appreciate you volunteering, but I think if we all, next week, if somebody presents.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. If you're like, I just met this, but if we say we're all gonna do it, then no one's gonna do it.
Yes.
So good.
So what did you want to talk about specifically with communication?
Thank you for asking. I feel like I'm talking so much, but
We like it.
I have a lot to say.
I like it.
And I'm just like, okay, so anyway, communication. So and I call it, comms, just because like every organization has communications and outreach. So that's internal communications, which we kind of have taken care of, but then external communication. How, like with the CAPS Commission, how, we don't have our own social media presence. We don't have our own website. We don't have, that sort of thing. So how can we, get those things? And that's a good question. I'm glad I asked it. I asked Molly Turner King this afternoon when I was making these notes, and she said that she will have to discuss it and get back to me. So I'm not sure I can guess who she's going to discuss it with. But she will discuss it and get back with us, because I asked for a Facebook and an Instagram at the least.
So, I do feel like we've had some missed opportunities with communications or presence, and the fact, and, I'm saying this for myself, is, we still have never gone to a women's commission meeting or to a county commissioners meeting or a county council's meeting and just talked. And get during public comment where we've introduced ourselves, which is a huge part of public communication.
Yes.
Because a lot of people watch this meeting, it's very public facing. So I do think there's that. I think that, talk about a goal for this year would be that, maybe quarterly suggesting we go public comment.
So are we talking public comment, or do we want to get on the agenda?
Public comment.
Just public comment.
Just public comment. Even if it's hi, we're the Women's Commission, I'm Susan, I'm the chair, this is what we've been doing.
I think that's what it should be.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Because,
yes,
that's what it should be.
I also think we have an opportunity, as we've been told, that we can submit things to be on the county on the county's Facebook page. They don't use their Facebook page enough, but they are willing, we could probably send them something about CAPS and they would post it on our behalf.
Maybe.
Maybe, right, it is a maybe, I understand. But those are things that we haven't done at all. I think for me, it needs to be something, a strategy needs to be written, a step, like to make it until it's automatic, how we process things. That's what I need, because obviously all last year, we knew we could have gone and done public comment. We had talked before about, we had access to their Facebook or, potentially. So is this something where we, set a SMART goal or some kind of goal for ourselves, or a calendar of, every other month, we alternate, whatever we do. February, we go to, someone goes to commissioners, and in April, someone goes to council, something like that, or trying to set a goal of, again, quarterly, we submit something to be on their Facebook page. I mean, even if, to me, that needs to be written down to hold us accountable to make those things happen. So I don't know what that is. If anybody has or any other ideas or a proposal on the timeline, I would be happy to hear it. Because I do know that I need to be like, no, we said quarterly, we're going to go to, I can do it from my office at work on Zoom, I don't even have to be on camera for that. So, but we need some accountability, I think.
I guess I'm feeling like with this and also the speakers, like there's no underlying strategy of like, what is our focus? Like I was thinking that kind of this working meeting was more like laying the groundwork that all of those things would come from, more than like, let's come up with a strategy for getting speakers. I feel nervous about that because when you talk about, oh, they're going to come in, and I know education is good, but it's also if we're going to offer our assistance, I don't feel very grounded in knowing what we're offering exactly. And like, I know we're offering our networks, or maybe if a seat opens up, but just more of, do you know what I'm saying? Kind of just missing that underlying, like, what are our priorities for this year? And then we pick our speakers and our marketing and communications based on that strategy.
Well, I guess for me, the unwritten priority, like, to me, something that, yes, unwritten, unsaid priority is, what's the word I want? Is not public acknowledgement, our presence, to establish our presence. To me, would be one purpose of why we would do some communication, is just being able to give us credibility, to give us exposure, to get, because what's the point of us doing the work if we're not bringing it to people's attention in that way? Because that's what our power is necessarily. Is having a voice and being able to use it at those meetings. To me, that's what I see our main goal is, but I don't know. What do you?
I guess I'm just, I mean, maybe it's a difference in like where, I guess I'm more of a deliverable type person. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying about like the networks and being a voice, but I guess the credibility for me lies in, here we've collected all this data and we're offering this product to you, this knowledge of some sort, or we are doing this targeted initiative on this. We're taking this year to do this targeted initiative on raising awareness on this issue. I feel a little bit just like ungrounded in, I felt grounded when we were doing like the specific justice work, but when it comes to like this conversation, I kind of feel like, okay, so we're gonna get speakers, and then every time we get a speaker, we're gonna get real excited about that topic, and then we're gonna get another speaker, and I don't see a strategy there. Like if we say, this year we're working on childcare or connecting elder, you know, like we were talking about the life, the life cycle of a woman. So we can start with like childcare in the first quarter, then we can go to teenagers in the next quarter. Then we could go to middle-aged women and then end with somebody from elder care. You know what I mean? Like some sort of thread that's like grounding us. And then our work, we might have subcommittee works, but we're kind of like have this little path we're following, some sort. Like what's our story for this year? What have we, you know, what's our vision? What's our, am I missing, you look at me like, am I not making sense?
No, you're making
Okay,
sense.
you're making absolute sense, and I'm just, your feelings are very valid and are very needed. That can be, what you just said was very needed, because that's absolutely true. That our time along our, anyway, I don't need to rephrase it. So to the speaker point, either, I'm gonna have to back up. I'm not sure that we're ready to do, even though it was my idea, to do the, oh no, it was your idea. To do the lifetime, like the LifeNet situation. Okay, the sugar's getting my bloodstream.
You want it?
That's why I stayed from those cookies. I'm like,
You want me, here, I'll give you a second to collect. Do you want a second to collect while I say something?
Sure.
So I think you came in happier, right?
Yes.
And this is part of it, right? Our evolution, right? Last year, when we had a meeting at the beginning of the year, it was, well, WTF. What are we gonna do? We had no idea because we'd never done this. We were all relatively new. And so it's something where now you're saying, and maybe we're feeling, is okay, we had our year of learning, of seeing what we had capacity for, to now maybe adding more structure to our mission. Is I think what is maybe what you're feeling. Because I do feel like last year we had no idea. So we were just throwing stuff up to see what stuck. And, you know, we had the Justice Committee, so that really helped define us to someone. We have girls coding, so that, you know, definitely gave us direction. I don't even remember why we added speakers. I mean, I'm glad we did. I've learned a lot and I've really enjoyed that part.
And I'm not anti-speaker.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it is, if we just feel now, as a commission, we have some experience, so now let's start adding some more structure to who we are.
Yes, and to answer the speaker thing, I think or to address the speaker concern, I feel like we either don't have speakers or we have speakers that speak to our subcommittees. Speak to, like we have Sheriff Forte come or whoever, and we don't want to put another thing on him, but you know, we have somebody come and talk to us about their experience in the justice system, or something that is that closer, is that feeling better to just saying, we're gonna have these speakers? Because one, we're not necessarily ready to take on any much else right now. And two, we can't promise them anything, but, and if we have speakers that align with our subcommittees, with the work that we're doing, that will inform our work and make our work.
That makes more sense.
Does that feel, how does that feel?
Yeah.
I could see some interesting presentations in response to pushback we're getting on the Girls Web Design Camp, with having speakers talk about problems with women in STEM, marginalized genders in STEM, like that.
In higher ed. So if we want to keep speakers, it seems like that we would want them to be
Or strategic.
topical to what we're working on.
But I guess I'm just talking about strategy in general, and not structure necessarily, but just like either, I mean, you brought up SMART goals, but more of just like vision. What is our vision? Or what is I mean, how did you do, okay, so last year it was all about forming like protocol and like how to get the structure of the organization. And so I just feel like all our topics have been like these separate topics instead of like the umbrella big picture.
So I think maybe, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, obviously, is I think one of the things that we talked about last year was saying, we have no idea what the women of this county or marginalized genders of this county need us for. And then we talked about, creating a survey to get it out, to give something, some kind of, longevity project for us. And so we talked about that, we were like, yeah, we're not to that point yet. We don't feel like we can meet that. Because what I feel like maybe is missing, because we have hot topic projects, but we don't have a long-term project for advancing our mission. Maybe. That would, to me, be the strategy. I think, in the sense that we have justice, we have the STEM project, girls equity, but the overall gender equity project of the commission, what is that? How do we accomplish working towards gender equity in the county?
Yeah.
And I think,
That's more along the lines of what I'm. I mean,
because we don't have a central, we don't have a central thread, right? To gender, I'm just gonna say gender equity, right? Because that's what I think we would all say we align towards, we gravitate towards. And so do we need a strategy of tackling gender equity in the county?
Yeah.
That's ginormous.
Can I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
So it dawned on me that we have said multiple times. Anyway, I don't need to press. I'm wondering if our goal wants to be, or it should be, to be invited to the table when they create, when council or commission create like JFAC or things like that, that we are invited to the table. And so the way that we get invited to the table is, to Susan's point that she's had her eye on for, since the beginning, is making our presence known, that we're here to work, this is the work we're doing, and that would get us to be invited to the table, because it would be a very
very.
Opportune.
Maybe opportune thing for any government body to invite somebody to the table that has their eye on gender equity for women.
Is it the strategy? Because to me, we've also been responsive versus being
Proactive.
proactive. So I think that's what's missing, is our proactive
Like
segment of
we
who
need
we
to
are.
raise our profile, so we might, like, this was one like, I think our product from JPAC.
But it was a reactive.
It was, well, and that's fine, but it was one subcommittee. So now where's our path for like doing that as a women's commission and proactively? Like, instead of waiting for the next shoe to fall and our profile to raise, let's set a course for, we are gonna do this survey and then put out a report. We are going to work with organizations to offer trainings. We are going to hold a workshop. I mean, I guess I'm more like of a, you know, I do better with like these kind of paths.
No,
Or maybe it's both. It doesn't have to be or the other. Like, all
No,
these things are good, and what are we saying when we're there, when we're saying, hi, I'm from the Women's Commission, and we've been doing this? It would be nice to say, for this year, we're focusing on policy and gender equity and doing you know what I mean? Like, this is our path for the next year, and that's why we should be invited to the table, and that's what we're here to tell you. Like, right now, I don't know what I would say about what that path is.
I think once our presence is known, I think that would be probably the basics of where we need to stand, is to get out there, Facebook, going to be on, you know, talking in the commission, who we are, just getting our name out there. Once we get our name out there and they see us and see our presence, we will be asked to be at the table. Once we're asked at the table, then we can see what topics that we want to champion and use some of those topics. But I do agree with a path, starting a path now, but also getting our presence out there. Once we get our presence out there, they're going to invite us to the table. What do
I
you
guess
have to say?
I don't want to wait for somebody's invitation is the other part.
I mean, but we got to get out there.
Why are
first.
we
I
waiting
mean,
around for somebody to invite us somewhere? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. We have to
Yeah,
go
let's
to the
do it.
commission,
Let's-
say who we are, get our name out there,
Yeah.
get our,
I know that's not what you're saying,
We-
but that's the other
We
side.
haven't asked, or we haven't waited for somebody's permission.
Yeah.
We went to every JPAC meeting and made
Mhm.
public comment at every JPAC meeting. However, we want to be invited to the table just to be a regular
Yeah.
participant.
Yeah.
Is the thing, and our mission or in our whatever, not vision, mission, purpose, is to serve as an advisory council or commission to these bodies. And so they need to recognize that we have things to say, we have done work, we will do work, and we want the Women's Commission at this table.
So, I'm sorry, the beginning of this meeting always takes so much longer than I expect them to. It is 7:04.
Yeah, we need the cats.
We have a meeting next Thursday. We can end, and obviously I think we should pick this up. My recommendation would be, and I know it's not subcommittee material because it really is the whole organization, the whole commission, is, I think this needs to be, and maybe this is what it was supposed to be the whole time, and was that, but trying to figure out would be a proposal.
Yeah.
I think for me, what I would want, and I don't want, because I think I understand what you're saying and I agree with what you're saying, because it is a path, but there, it's long-term and short-term, it's immediate and, whatever, it's proactive and reactive. I mean, it is all these things. And as of right now, we have been missing this clear, long-term goal kind of path. But I think I need just, for a strategy to be created. And I don't know how that gets done necessarily. If it's you write a paragraph or somebody does or whatever, this is what I think we should do. And then, we rip it to shreds or we agree or we flesh it out so we have a bigger understanding.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that is important always, especially as the chair and is my job, is we meet once a month for an hour and a half. What can we do? What is really making sure we match our expectations with our reality? And I think, we can do as much or as little as we want to, because we're all here, as volunteers and unpaid work. And so I think that's the important thing, is painting the picture with what we're really willing to do.
Kathleen, since you are trained in that intercept model situation, are you also trained, or is that transferable to leading a strategy session for the strategy, like asking us those questions that we need to be able to answer to have the path?
I don't think that model is transferable, I don't think, but I mean, I've done strategic planning. I don't know if I would want. And like, maybe we could, I just wrote my things, we need training. I feel like we need like a consultant or something. I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot, maybe. I'll talk with Susan. I mean, not by next week, but maybe we can.
So what do we want next week?
Visioning.
What do we want next week to be?
I can put down a paragraph of what,
But in general for the meeting next week, what do we want it
No,
to be?
I think that's okay, because to be honest, a comment on the proactive versus reactive. Our reactive is the justice subcommittee. Our proactive was our girls' coding camp. That's a proactive thing. That's something that we were providing, not, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So we have that work available or covered, or those are proactive and reactive things. I'm wondering if we continue to do our work on our subcommittee things, going to the events, trying to get some information if we can have Facebook and, that sort of thing. And we have half an hour of the meeting to work on our path, our strategy. I think it's okay to have concurrent running things.
yeah, everything doesn't have to come to a halt. Yeah.
And it's not, I don't think it's either or, and there's, like you said, we can do what we want, I mean, within reason, we can do what we want, and so we can do this planning while we're still doing the work that we have to do, not that we have to. So we run a normal meeting, and we know that the last half hour or whatever, we'll be working on the strategy. We don't get speakers, we don't get anything extra. We pay attention to the work that we already have on our plate and getting the strategy, the path together.
Yeah, that sounds good. I second that motion.
So moved.
I'm not.
It is 7:09. I'm calling this meeting to an end.